Hey everyone, welcome to Money Wire Work, and today I'm going to be looking at SPY from a technical analysis. It's the first time I'm doing technical analysis on the channel, so I'm just going to run through my indicators and a little bit how I use them. I'm going to do a little bit more in depth on that, but I just kind of want to talk about SPY today. So first, I want to bring up the 200-day moving average. That's this blue line right here. Out of all the moving averages, the 200 is probably the most common that is used. Generally, you want to use the most common indicators because that's what everyone else is using. And sort of the trend is your friend, right? So you want to follow what other people are doing to try and catch that wave. For a moving average perspective, when the price action is above the moving average, it's considered a upwards momentum. And inversely, when it's below the moving average, the price action is considered to be going in a downward momentum. So when it's above the moving average technically acts, or should generally act until there's a reversal, as a support line. And then when the price action is below the moving average, it acts as a resistance line. So I'm going to bring up some other moving averages that I use. So the purple line is the 100-day moving average. So it's going to be a little bit quicker than the 200-day. Basically does the same thing. It's just going to be a little bit closer to what the price action is doing at the time. And then the 50-day, which is the same thing. I have the Bjorgum Multi-MA. Right now I have it set at 7 and 25, which I believe is the default setting. And then the Bjorgum Hema right here is really just an EMA cloud that I like to use just to kind of fill in that space in between the 7 and the 25 moving averages. So when you look at the Bjorgum cloud, typically when you're above the blue cloud as far as price action, like right here, you're considered in an upward trend. When it's going down, like right here back in 2020 and starting over in January here of 2022, when the price action is below the moving averages, averages will turn red and you're considered to be going in a downward trend. So if you want to catch momentum, the best thing to do is, as far as this setup goes, is you want to catch the blue moving averages, the momentums, when they're above these larger moving average lines. And you want to catch the red when you're going below these moving average lines. All of that supports each other and it works off of each other, and it's reassurance and validation of the price action. There are times you can see right here, although not a perfect example, we turned blue, but we were still below all of these moving averages. So again, like I said earlier, these moving averages are typically going to act as resistance levels when the price action is below them. So even though you have a blue Bjorgum cloud and blue Bjorgum moving averages, you're possibly going to be running into a resistance level. So what you could do instead of using this as an entry point is you can, or for a long position or to buy a call, is you can use it as it begins to go back down after you hit resistance, to use it as a short position or as a stop loss, essentially. So if you really wanted to be a bottom dweller and really get into some action and do a little bit higher risk, you could technically enter here, but just realize that you might want to put a tight stop loss. Next thing I have right here is the Bjorgum TSI. It essentially acts as a RSI. When it's above this red line or near to the red line, it's considered to be overbought, and when it's below, it's considered to be oversold, and you're possibly seeing a reversal. You can also kind of see this here as a consistent downtrend, and that follows this, and that's very similar to an RSI. So SPY did really, really well today off of news from the Fed. Basically, they raised interest rates another 75 basis points. On top of that, Jerome Powell hinted that the economy is slowing down, which is generally what we're kind of looking for right now as far as having the stock market come back. We're sort of in a reverse thing right now where as a trader or someone that wants to get into the stock market or wants just to see their investments to go up, you're actually wanting to see the economy slow down a little bit because we want the interest rates to go back lower, at least stabilize, and we want the Fed to go from hawkish to at least stable or dovish, which would be even better from this standpoint. Basically, just right now, because of everything that happened with COVID, with the stimulus and everyone jumping back into just going on vacations from being locked up for a year or two or how long everyone did it. Everyone's out and about, among other reasons. A lot of it has to do with the stimulus. We're seeing people out and about, and they got a lot of extra income yet. Economy, or the unemployment is still at 3.6%, which is pretty low, and it was actually a big reason why Jerome Powell said that he doesn't really consider us in a recession right now because of the low unemployment rate. But maybe in another video I'll get into this, but unemployment is generally considered a lagging indicator. So we might still see it yet, and we have seen layoffs in businesses like Tesla. So another thing I just want to cover is the VRVP. It's another way of looking at volume. Volume is actually pretty important. So up here I have my volume bars. So you can see the amount of volume here and then just at where it is at a given point, but it doesn't really show the price levels in which it's at necessarily. So the VRVP acts as a good way to show where the resistance levels are and the support levels. So if we're looking at SPY right now, we're coming up to what would be a pretty strong resistance level at about 412, if not about 416, 418, with a support about 389. So that's kind of why we're getting this bounce from a technical standpoint, is there's a lot of support right here. And then on top of it, we had what happened today with the Fed and Powell. So if I were to look at this from a technical standpoint, I could easily see this hitting this 200 moving average right here, if not the 100 here. I feel like it's a little too close with this high volume to just hit the 50. I feel like it might go through the 50, but you never know. I mean, at the end of the day, no one knows. No one knows what's going to happen in the market, so keep that in mind. So we'll see. We'll track this. We'll see where it goes. Right now it's at 401 and it is the 27th. So we'll see where it goes from here. My guess, again, like I said, it'll probably bounce up a little bit and then come back down. So if you're looking to short, this market, if you think it's going to go back down, wait for this inflection back to the downside. Wait for the Bjorgum cloud to turn red again. Wait for this TSI to come back down and turn red again. If you do bring up the TSI, you can see these green lines down here indicate a potential turn in momentum to the upside, and then on the other side you see the yellow line potentially suggesting a turn down to the downside. All right, so thanks for watching. If you guys like this, want to see more content, please subscribe, like, comment, and I appreciate it. Thank you.